It was quite a few years ago. I would come in early, and all of a sudden I'd be working, and I'd turn and I'd see something, a shadow go by, and it was enough to make me get up and think that my coworker was already in. And when I went to the other room, she said she wasn't there, and obviously something went by, because it was almost like just a dark shadow going by. And I've seen, a couple of times. And then when one year when we were downstairs on the second floor, the closet door would open for no reason, and then but it didn't shut. It just would open, and we'd all joke around that it was probably the ghost.
Tell me about that the experience that made your hair stand on end.
Well, I think you just have to realize that you're not always alone when you're in a big old house like this, and the house is at least 140 maybe years old right now. And if you think about the evolution of the house, it was probably coal heated. Mm-hmm. It has a huge brick and stone basement, full basement underneath, dry, clean, but I can get anybody to go down there, go down and check things out if need be. And then facilities people, we have a new boiler and we have new hot water heater, but I don't get a lot of volunteers on the staff to want to run down there and check on things. And there's an attic above it too. Nobody goes up in that attic. But facilities people have gone up, and it's dry and it's clean and the roof doesn't leak, and we're safe. It's just that sometimes you feel like there's somebody else in the place with you, and when all the hair on your arms just starts tingling, you sort of get this feeling like maybe you're not alone after all.
So what have you felt personally?
I felt like leaving. So I headed out to home. I'd rather be here during the daylight.
Do you think the spirits are friendly, or?
Yeah. Yep.
What do you sense about them?
Well, you know what? They built the town's first fire station. Mm-hmm. They
donated. The Ray family?
Yeah, they donated the money to build what at the time was a theater and science facilities on campus. They built the town's first library, 2 doors from here, which is right next to their 2 houses. So they may have been the most generous people in the history of this town, and may continue to be the most generous people in the history of the town, but this was their house. So I'm not doing anything to desecrate their house. This is their neighborhood. I'm just getting to use it for a while I work here. If you find 2 old mirrors in a home on opposite walls facing each other, because that's where the spirits come and go, through the 2 mirrors.
So tell me about what happened with this big mirror. How much would you estimate it weighs?
I don't know. I don't know how to estimate what something like that would weigh. But it slid right down the wall. Didn't break. Landed on the floor. At the time, there was different cups there, but it slid down the wall and landed. Never broke.
And there was no, the house hadn't, it wasn't shaking or anything, and.
This house isn't shaking for anything. There are solid blocks of granite, 10 feet high, 1 foot by 1 foot square, that serve as beams underneath this thing. It isn't going anyplace.
And who observed this, the mirror sliding?
Nobody observed it. They all heard it crash. They were working in their offices 2 stories up.
So they came down and saw it on the ground?
Well, yeah, you can imagine what that sounds like. A car dropping when it comes down, I would assume. Even when we have restoration work done, like painting and plastering and so on, they don't want to touch that. They don't know if they can hold on to it.
Throughout these years, and I've been here 20 years, I don't think if it is a spirit, that would be an angry spirit, because I've never seen anything like things flying around or anything like that.
Do you have any guess as to who the spirit might be?
No, an old story is that a servant had lived in this house and that died of an appendix attack, but whether that's true or not.